right? So it is largely difficult. But as counterintuitive as it looks, the primary reason for anybody to find a job, or anybody who's looking to get a job, is basically their academic strengths, right? So people who think that they are academically great think that they should get a job easily as well, and people who are academically down think that they can't get a job, and which is something that is not true, right? You could be a 5 pointer in college, but if you are much eligible to get and crack a good interview and get a good job as well, because there are so many companies and who are hiring so many different kinds of people, and your skill set might not match a particular company, but might match another company. So the idea is, I think you rightly mentioned, is that the failure is not really a person being the failure. The person is never a failure. It is just that it was not a match for this particular company. I don't want to give this analogy, but it's a simple analogy that, okay, you find a girl for your life, or you find a guy for your life. So, right, there is a certain balance that has to be struck. It is not that the guy is wrong or the girl is wrong, right? So I think probably the connection is what that is important. But I think communication still does play a huge role in putting that forward, so that then the organization should make a call whether this person is going to be the right person for me or not. I think of course communication at the hiring stage is also important, but what is your perspective of the whole problem when it comes to somebody growing in their career? So say I'm at a people, I'm sure a lot of people get stagnated and not really have the privilege to go on to be a C-level person in the organization, because it's a pyramid. So less people go up, more people stay down. So people get stagnated at a certain point and can't really move up the ladder, because something that helps you move up the ladder is not your skills anymore, right? It is all the other things that is required, right? You have to network well, you have to get the right set of problems solved, and you have to market yourself, and you have to be a great presenter, and you have to have a lot of other skills which is going to take you to the top, right? It's not just a particular skill which is going to take you to the top. Uh, so I think that, we get a lot of customers, in fact, who come to us and say that, okay, I'm not able to grow in my career. So I got a job, I got a great job, but people are not promoting me because they asked me to give a presentation, and I screw it up, right? So what is your take on that?
Absolutely. Look, again, two questions. I sort of see two views. You're right. At the point of interview, there's got to be a match and there's got to be a rapport. It is like dating, but you don't go about dating with the view of breaking someone's heart. You be
True.
honest from the start. You have the clear criteria, so the applicant applies, and then you go change the goalpost at every round of the interview, and then you make an impulsive buy in the end that had nothing to do with the criteria, and then 300 people lost their valuable man hours applying, not knowing that ultimately the one that gets selected is a pretty looking you know communicative young man, just blatantly putting out there. So that's number one. Number two, in terms of progressing career wise, look, the natural reality of it is that there's fewer C-level roles than mid-tier, and there's even fewer mid-tier roles compared to junior roles. So unfortunately, not everyone gets that benefit to get to that level. To get to that level, you have to learn certain skills. I think you have to be exceptional in what you do, right? And when I say exceptional, you get to junior level, you get the excel from junior to mid-tier, say by your level of expertise, fantastic, you've made it and you've become a boss. Here is your leadership skills needs to kick in. You need to learn that art of managing people, right? From there on, you're right, it becomes all about your networking ability, but also your ability to then mobilize resources, your ability to impact larger crowds and lead people at mass scale, your ability to not only manage yourself as a leader, but the impact you make on others. That skill cannot be taught. That comes with age, that comes with maturity, that comes with understanding the business, This is an internal personal development of understanding your environment and reading it right and impacting people so that they follow you, your direction, your mission. That is the level that you need to be to get to sea level and have the respect of the people, because you can get to sea level because your dad was sea level, right? And you can force your decisions down, but you'll never have the respect of the people underneath.
Absolutely.
At that level, you got to manage 360. You have to manage down, you have to manage up, you have to manage sideways, and you have to be authentic in doing that. I often advocate empathetic leadership. I believe in empathetic leadership. I don't believe in strong, dominating leadership. There are times for that. Absolutely. Military, you need it.
Command and control. Yeah.
100%. But then there are times where you've got to show a bit of emotion. You've got to show a bit of heart. You've got to show that you're dealing with people, and people are human beings that are prone to having life happens.
Absolutely. But more leadership, the leadership is basically also something that is very important to be a leader. I mean, in my experience at least, is that you have to constantly improve your communication skills, because you are meant to tell a very complex problem in very simple terms, and that's communication, right? So you're going to have very few instances, and you probably have to communicate a very complex subject in a very small time, right? You'll probably get a minute with everybody in the team, and you also have to make sure that it is not only efficient, you're not just communicating, but you have to be effective as well, in the sense that all that you've said, every other hierarchy below you have to get it and make the other person understand as well, right? So I think effective empathetic leadership comes through with I mean, I'm in my opinion, with comes with great responsibility of communication, right? Because one word here and there being misconstrued by anybody in the team is going to be a problem. So I think that is something that I face a lot. I mean, I think about this so many times that before I write any mail which is going to be at scale, or any mail or any message I'm writing at scale, you have to always think about whether how can this not be taken in the wrong way, right? It has to be taken in the right way. It has to be exactly what I want to say. The words have to be exactly thought about. And I think, as you said rightly, it comes with age, it comes with perspective, it comes with understanding the business, it comes with understanding your people, because that's the most important. But yeah, more importantly, it comes with great communication skills to be a leader at the top as well. Not everybody, of course, gets to the top. Of course, that's by nature. Not everybody gets to the top. But as parents, anybody who's a parent right now out there is worried about their kid being the best mathematician or the best, person who's involved in STEM, right? So people are all focused on STEM because that's what people think gets them jobs. As parents, how important is communication skills to be imbibed on a kid at a very very early age, so that he does not have to face, I mean, he gets the strength to face the world in a better sense, and he increases his odds of success, right? So how important is it for a parent?
It is. It's important, but again, remember the cultural impact. I'm originally from Central Asia, and look, I think Indian culture is filled with a lot of nuances of respect, a lot of nuances of showing a certain level of honor, dignity in your communication, a certain way of communicating with older people and treating younger people. I mean, your richest culture, you've got the longest history any book contains or can contain. Now we're asking here to have a traditional parent and rewire that parent to say, well, you know what, you got to be controversial. You got to come back and chat back to me. You got to have healthy tension at home. It all starts from home. And if the home is culturally predisposed to dad being very strong in personality, kids grow up being far more submissive. Overcoming that at an older age is much more difficult, because that is now set in your deep subconscious.
True.
Now compare that to the Western culture where kids are out there taught daily to talk, right? And that makes them, I guess, their path to get to what you call the C-level roles much easier. So there's a lot to consider. I think focusing on math and technical subjects, very Asian phenomena. A lot of Asian families historically, I mean, my parents were no different. Look, my dad was a teacher. Guess what I did as a young student myself,
Yeah.
Um, but ultimately, um, you do not look back and point fingers at what others could have, should have, would have done for you. You take responsibility to change your life, and you start now, you start today. And I tell you how I started. I was 14. I've come from a country that doesn't speak English. English isn't even a formal language, unlike India, right? I started at 14 to learn 15 new words at 5 a.m. every day.
Oh
I
my
worked
God.
on myself. I
Yeah.
speak fluent English. I speak better than some Australians. In Australia, I'm the first generation migrant that achieved C-level heights in my career. And I'm a living
Okay.
testament that ultimately your success lives, resides in your hands. There's no school, no mum and dad, no university can get you there but you. It's your determination, it's your principles, and it's your values that will get you there. Your only
Absolutely.
barrier lives right here.
Absolutely. I think there's nothing much to say after that. But I think you pointed a very, very important point there is that all the barriers are in the mind. And if you set your mind to anything, probably you'll achieve. And as you said, I mean, you have done really well for yourself in the life. But with the opportunities that you have, I mean, waking up at 5 a.m. and learning 15 words a day is difficult, is not heard of in your from your perspective because you come from a country where English is not a formal language. But at the same time, I think this points out to a lot of our audiences as well, who are even now shy and self-denial and self-doubting their capacity and capability, and think that this problem will never be solved. If it is not solved in my childhood, it should not be solved anytime in the future. I think it just points out directly to them is that you're never late, right? You're never late to do anything. You're never late to improve anything. You're never late to learn anything. So I think the key word is just start today, right? Just start today with baby steps. You'll keep getting there. Improve on yourself day by day. Do one activity per day. You don't have to start doing our courses on day one, right? You can probably just start, as you said, by just learning a sentence or learning 15 words a day and get started. So I think it's very important that self denial and awareness is created. And it is, I think I would want you to touch upon that those parts as well. Is that how is it? I mean, in my opinion, I think communication is just like any other problem that you go through, right? It's okay, right? It's okay that you have the problem. Accept that you have the problem and just go and fix it. It's as simple as that. It's going to take you some money, and it's going to take you some discipline. It's going to take you some time, and that's all it takes, right? It's going to fix it, right? It probably, and once you fix it, unlike any other problem, communication is a non-reversible thing. Once you get fluent, you are always fluent. You don't want to forget how to speak English just because you haven't spoken it for a while, right? So language has that advantage. Once it's there, it's there. It's a non-reversible, irreversible change. So yeah, I mean, I want you to touch those points a little as well. How do you make people come out and accept, and why is it important to accept and start curing it today?